Hey, what's up, YouTube? Bloodspawn is back from another convention. Monster-Mania 32 convention was this past weekend, October 2nd through 4th. It was in Hunt Valley, Maryland this time. I don't make it to this show very often. In fact, this is only my second time, but I pulled this one out. I actually went a day early. I went on Thursday before the convention starts. It's just a relaxed day, hang out with my con family. We sat around and ate dinner together and drank and played Cards versus Humanity and just had a really, really good time. And it also stretches out the con and makes it seem a little longer going the extra day. So I probably will start doing that from now on. But as far as the convention, the layout, the hotel is really really nice. It's a smaller hotel, smaller crowds, smaller con. The area where the hotel itself, has got a lot of little small little hangout spots, and it's a lot gardening and everything everywhere. So it's a lot more nicer looking than Cherry Hill. The small crowds really helped out. I pretty much knocked out every single person I needed Friday night, except for Denise Crosby, and that's because she wasn't there. So within a couple hours, I was done. Like just no line at all. I think I sat in Matthew Lillard's line for maybe 20 minutes. It was probably 20, 30 people in front of me, and it took that long because he was just a really nice guy and talking to everything. So here is the program, which I always grab and mount in my book. It's got inside, it's got all the events, a little snippet of the people that are there in the back. Last time this was a hint, so I'm not sure. There's a Michael Myers there, and I know Halloween 2 anniversary is coming up, but there was also Halloween people at this one, so I'm not sure if this is just Michael Myers because of this con or one of these next two cons is going to have some kind of Halloween reunion, so not sure. So the first person that I met, like I said, was Matthew Lillard, which is the main guy there, the main person I wanted. I wanted to get him on my Scream item and also my Hackers poster, which I did. And like I said, he was really, really nice, really talkative and funny and just all around really nice guy. And there's more on that coming up when I get to later on when we went to the Q&A that he was in. So Matthew Lillard signed, and I asked him, is it okay if you sign this quote? I would say, dude, I'll sign whatever you want, man. Like you paid for this meeting, and I want it to be, worth it for you and stuff like that. He was just that kind of guy. So took the time to sign the quotes that I wanted. He thought it was funny. He made a joke about Jamie Kennedy because he was looking at the other people that have signed it, and I was telling him, yeah, I do this for each person. I always take the time to go through. I said I'll literally rewatch the movie and write down everything you say, and then pick out of your quotes which one I like the best or fits the most. Uh, as far as you speaking towards me in that way on my poster. And but Jamie Kennedy was the only person that so far wasn't. He was like, "What?" He's like, "You mean tell me you wouldn't write what you wrote down?" I said, "No, I did the same exact thing, had a quote and everything." And he wrote to David, Jamie Kennedy. That's it. And he was like, wow, like, yeah, like, no, I won't do that. So he signed the Scream poster how I wanted. And then when it got to the Hackers poster, he was like, what do you want me to put? I was like, I just like hack the planet. He's like, you don't want me to write Jamie Kennedy as a dick? And I was like, well, you can write that if you want. So I thought that was pretty funny. But here is the pictures of Matthew Lillard. I'm going to do this just like I did in the last recap video. I'm just going to show all the pictures at once, and then we're going back and forth. So it'll be the picture of me with if my son took a picture, him signing the items he signed, and then the zoomed in on the autograph. So here's Matthew Lillard's pictures. Okay, right next to him, right in the row, they had all of the Pet Sematary people, and there was really, I don't think, any line, maybe one or two people at those. So I knocked those out next. So the first one I got was Miko Hughes. He played the little boy in Pet Sematary that got ran over and buried in the Pet Sematary and came back. He was a really, really nice guy. He was pretty talkative as well. Really nice. Introduced me, my girlfriend, my son. He said hi to everybody. It was a good meet. No real story there, but he signed my poster the way I wanted. He was talkative, smiling. It seemed like he was having fun. Wished us a good weekend. I did the same to him. So here's the pictures of Miko Hughes. All right, next up is Andrew Hubatzik. He played the really, really skinny lady. It's funny because he's a guy playing a lady, but I think it was Zelda, a really freaky character in that movie. He was a nice, quiet guy, but he really enjoyed the quote that I picked out and signed it exactly how I wanted. So he was another good meet all the way around. So here's the pictures of Andrew Hubatzik. Okay, next up is Brad Greenquist. I don't remember the character's name, but he played the dad, the father. It was his best friend, and he was like dead, and he was on like the smashed in, like scalp hanging out and stuff, face that kept showing up and talking to the main character. So he was really really nice. You can see in the pictures. But I laid out my card like, here's what I want you to sign. And in one picture he's like he's looking at it. The next picture he's like got this big laugh on his face. He really enjoyed the quote that I picked out, and that's the laughing was about the quote, like how awesome he thought it was. So I thought that was pretty cool. Real nice guy, and he signed the poster how I wanted. And like I said, he was really blown away by the time and effort that I took to pick out the quote and everything. And he's like, this. I think he said like this is probably the first time that he's ever signed this quote. Like he there's some other ones in the movie that I guess are more popular, but in all the conventions he's went to, he's never signed this quote. And like if people say, I'll write whatever you want, he's like, this one never comes to mind. So pretty cool interaction with Brad. So here's the pictures of Brad Greenquist. All right, next up, staying with the Pet Cemetery, was Dale Midkiff himself. He played the main character, the father. He was really, really nice too. Took the time, took pictures separately with me and my girlfriend. Didn't charge for the photos. All these people, except for Matthew Lillard, were like $20, $25. I think Dale might have been. Matthew Lillard was 40. So good con all the way around for price wise. Definitely not like the last couple that I've been to. A lot of 20, 25, couple 30s, and then only George Romero and Matthew Lillard were more than 30. So really, really appreciate that. But Dale, same thing. He took the time, signed my quote exactly how I wanted it, and I was pleased with the meet. So here's pictures of Dale Midkiff. Okay, next up, we'll stay with Denise Crosby. I did not meet her on Friday. She was not there. She didn't show up until 4 o'clock or so on Saturday. So I was in line for her already at about 3:30, and 10-15 people in front of me. So got through her pretty quick. I did not get pictures with her. I've already met her before, and she was charging for the photos. So I just got the autograph. But she's really nice. She always is, always smiling. Thanks you for coming out and everything. So she signed the quote that I wanted, which I was happy with. And here's the pictures of Denise Crosby. All right, next up on the other side of the big autograph room was Dee Wallace. I've met her before. I got her on Cujo, E.T., and The Howling. I did not get her on my Rob Zombie Halloween poster, which is signed by multiple people. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. This time, we actually ran into Dee, or she ran into us. Our group was sitting down in the main lobby, all drinking, playing Cards vs. Humanity on Thursday night, and Dee walked by and actually stopped and came up to our little circle that we had with couches and chairs and stuff. And she was like, "Oh my God, I love this game," and blah blah. And she had a big old glass of wine, and we were trying to get her to sit down and play with us. She's like, "Oh, I would, but my shows are coming on," and she was Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder or something like that. And she was talking about those shows, and I was like, "Yeah, I heard Scandal's really good." She's like, "Oh my God, it's so good." And we had a pretty cool moment with her, and she was like, she was talking about Viola Davis in How to Get Away with Murder. And she was like, "Yeah, it's like just an amazing actress." And she's like, "Yeah, like I don't remember how she put it. Like for me being an actress, watching other great actresses," and then she was like, "It really turns me on." It was like a perfect moment. Dee Wallace is funny and just amazing meet every time she's there. I got her to sign my Rob Zombie poster. Uh, she took the time to talk to each one of us separate, me, my girlfriend, and my son, and signed my Rob Zombie poster, and then took pictures with all of us, and just really, really nice. So here is the pictures of Dee Wallace. All right, next up, Jordan Ladd, who we all actually also saw Thursday night. She was in the bar. I think she was eating and drinking. We were in there to eat. Didn't say anything to her, but she was in there and sitting down. So pretty good meet. She's always really nice. She's really really talkative if you engage. I we talked for a couple minutes. I had a waiting poster. That's what I wanted her on. And anytime you bring something that like isn't their main big or what everyone else is getting them on, they always enjoy that. She made a comment about like, "Oh, a waiting poster. Like I don't see too many of those." And she's probably so used to signing Cabin Fever stuff, which is what I got her on the first time I met her. But I did not have a quote and stuff picked out. I thought I owned the movie, but I didn't, so I couldn't. And I looked on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, and couldn't find a quote for her. So I just winged it, and she ended up just pretty much not writing anything. I think she wrote like "To David, XOXO, Jordan Ladd" or something like that. So she signed it nice and small, and she's like, "Yeah, that way you got plenty of room for other people." And took the pictures with us separately. She was $20, free picture and everything. So she was smiling, happy, having a good time. So another good meet, Jordan Ladd. So here's the pictures of her. Next up is Tony Moran. He was in the original Halloween movie, and he played Michael Myers. Him and Nick Castle kind of shared that role. In most scenes, it's Nick Castle, but Tony in the main scene when I believe Michael Myers gets stabbed in the eye with the coat hanger, he takes off the mask, and when you actually get to see Michael Myers' face, it's Tony Moran in that scene, so it's actually his face that you get to see. So I wanted to get him on two different things. I have a Halloween poster, and then I have the old little small poster that I wanted to get all the people that played Michael Myers to sign. So I got him on both those. We'd seen him several times and didn't even know who he was. Like anybody always just like plays a role where they're behind a mask, you know what they look like and stuff. So I think he came up and maybe even asked for a lighter or something at one point and didn't know who he was until later on. I was like, "Oh man, that's the guy that came up to us outside." So, but I got him to sign both, and he signed them and was all around nice guy. Seemed like he was having fun the whole weekend. Every time I saw him, had a smile on his face. So that's always good. So here's the pictures with Tony Moran. Next up, these guys, the rest, I think all the rest of these guys were in a separate room than the main autograph room. It was kind of like the Halloween room. I don't know why Tony Moran wasn't put in that room, but it was all the Halloween people and George Romero in the one room. So went around that room. So next up is Will Sandin. He played young Michael Myers in the original one. In the opening scene with the little kid, and he goes in and he grabs the butcher knife out of the drawer, and then goes upstairs and kills his sister. That, and then you see him come down in a little clown outfit. So he played the actual kid, Michael Myers. So I got him on both posters. I was debating on getting him on the Michael Myers only one, but I forgot he played Michael Myers. He technically wasn't behind the what we know to be the Michael Myers mask, but he still played the character. So I got him on the Halloween poster and on the what I call Michael Myers only. Only want people that played Michael Myers to sign that. So I got him on both. Really nice, smiling and everything. Didn't talk to him much. Wasn't very talkative. But he signed the posters and signed them the way I asked. So can't be more happy than that. So here is the pictures with Will Sandin. Right, next up was Nick Castle. Again, Halloween, original, Michael Myers, and most of the shots. I've met Nick before. I think it was at my very first convention. Back then, I wasn't doing posters and multi-sign things, so I just got an 8x10 of Michael Myers on the telephone. So this time I got him on the original Halloween and again the Michael Myers only poster, which he really enjoyed that poster. You'll see in one of the pictures of it, like he's holding it up, just looking at it. He was checking that out. I told him, like, a buddy of mine made it for me. He only made 26 of them. He's like, I've never signed this one before. And I was like, yeah, there's only 26 of them made, so that's probably why you haven't seen it. So he signed both, and he's really nice. Took separate pictures with me and my girlfriend. Didn't charge for the photo. I believe he was one of the ones that was 30. So all in all, great meet. So here's the pictures with Nick Castle. All right, next up is Don Shanks. He played Michael Myers in part 5. I've met him before as well, and I got him on the Michael Myers only poster back then, but I did not have a Halloween 5 poster. So last time I met Danielle Harris, I picked up a Halloween 5 poster and got her on that. So I wanted to add him to get a second signature on it. He's nice, always nice. Shakes your hand, strong, muscle guy, squeezes your hand and everything. Not really, really talkative. I told him, this is my second time meeting you, and I showed him the poster that I originally got him on. He was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that." And so he signed the Halloween 5 poster for me. And here's the pictures of Don Shanks. Next up is one that I was blown away with. Matthew Lillard was definitely my favorite meet of the con, but this guy easily took second place. Tom Atkins. He was in Halloween Part 3. He played the main male character, and he was also in the original Fog movie and a bunch of other stuff. And this guy was charging $20. Free photo, whether you took stuff off his table. A lot of the guys only do that. If you don't have an item and you pick something off their table, like an 8x10, it's the price of the autograph. So if they're charging $20 and you grab an 8x10 off their table, it's still $20. You don't pay for the 8x10. It's kind of part of the deal. But if they have DVDs or big posters like 11 by 17 or 12 by 18 like I usually have, they normally charge more, 25 or 30 for the auto and the poster, since you took up a poster and it costs them money to print. Not Tom Atkins. If you took an 8 by 10, if you took one of his big posters, it didn't matter what you took. If your own item, whatever it was, $20 done. And it was great. And he was like whistling and humming and stuff while we were meeting up, and he was laughing and he was talking in character and saying lines from the movie. And my girlfriend and I took pictures with him, and my son was standing a little bit back because he was in his Chatterer costume. And I took my pictures, and I think my girlfriend went to go next, and he was and took the pictures, and then he was like, "What the hell is that?" And he's like pointing at my son. I was like, "That's my son." And then he was like, "Oh," and then I explained where the character come from. He was like, "Come on, get in here." And, took a picture, took a picture with him, which we weren't even doing. So that was pretty cool of him. But he was just an awesome, awesome guy. It's just really, really nice to meet him, and he was probably the second most important person I wanted to meet and get on my Halloween 3 poster. But that wasn't all I got him on, because once I knew that he wasn't whatever the charge was, I started looking at his table, and he had this really, really awesome fog poster. It's all drawn like art, and it was just really, really nice. And I was like, I can't leave without that. So grabbed the fog poster and started that one as well, and managed to get a second autograph on it as well. So here's the pictures of Tom Atkins. And the last person I met was Charles Cyphers. He was in the original Halloween. He played a cop, and then he was in Halloween 2, and he was also in The Fog. So since I grabbed the Fog poster from Tom Atkins, I quickly looked up on IMDb The Fog to make sure anyone else that was at this convention was in it, and Charles Cyphers was. So I knew at that point I had to get him on 3 items: the Halloween poster that I had the other people sign, the Halloween 2 poster that I brought, and the fog poster that I picked up from Tom Atkins. So he signed all 3. He's a really nice guy, quiet, but he talks when you talk. He made a couple jokes. Really liked the posters that I picked out and everything. So I got him on all 3 things, and he came up with. I didn't have a quote for the fog for Tom Atkins or Charles, because I didn't even know I was going to have that. So they both picked out quotes from the movie for me, and he actually picked out. I didn't even give him the index card I got, but the quote that I wanted him to do in Halloween, the original, was the one he thought up, and I was like, yeah, 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 that'll work, and it's exactly what I wanted. And then for Halloween 2, I think he picked out something different, but I liked his better. So here is the pictures of Charles Cyphers. And that is all the autographs. I did not get everyone I wanted. I would have liked to have gotten George Romero, but I passed on him again. I'm probably going to regret that one. I didn't get Denise Crosby on my Next Generation poster, and I think that was about it. But I did, like I said, I got everyone else, even the ones I needed on 2. And I also picked up that fog poster and got 2 people on it, which I didn't, and that's probably where my money went for the meeting George Romero. But all in all, I was happy with the con. All the celebrities I met were really awesome. Not a lot of big names, but a lot of people that mean something to me as far as Halloween stuff and things like that. So great con, great times. After that, meeting Denise Crosby Saturday afternoon, I did make it to a Q&A. The Thing Q&A, I caught the end of that. That was really awesome. Heard some behind the scenes stuff in The Thing and what it was like to work with Kurt Russell and stuff like that. So those guys were pretty fun. There was 2 people on that one. And then we also went to the Matthew Lillard and Roger Jackson, who played the voice of Ghostface. We went to that Q&A for the Scream Q&A and was blown away, man. Matthew Lillard is an amazing person. Um, he's up there, easily one of my top 5 meets of all time. Just a funny guy, and when I watch the Q&A, like he lays it all out there, man. Like he's talking about that he doesn't get a lot of roles because he don't look like Tom Cruise, and nowadays you pretty much to be the lead character, that's what they're looking for, and he has to wait for all these people that's what new actors and stuff are trying to be like a young Tom Cruise, young Tom Cruise, young Tom Cruise. So then all these roles that they're looking for, that there's those people are going to get the roles. It's when they need a character that doesn't look like Tom Cruise and is kind of just regular looking and maybe a little funny and stuff like that, then he gets his roles. And he took the time, and right in the middle of the Q&A, he was like, I know you guys don't hear this a lot of time, but I'm I'm a blue collar actor. I'm not a big name. I'm not ugly. I'm not handsome. I'm not fat. I'm not skinny. Like, I'm just mediocre in the middle all the way, and I don't get a lot of roles. And people don't realize that when you're not getting those big roles and your roles aren't coming bang 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 bang, I got a wife and 4 kids I still need to feed, and it's things like this. And he's talking about the horror convention, and you people coming to spend your hard-earned money to meet me and get my autograph that help feed my kids. So I know you guys don't. Not everyone say this, and they're not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Thank you so much. And it was so amazing. And then towards the end, last question of the night, they asked him a question about like one of his favorite movies or what it was like to work with. I can't remember the guy's name. So he tells a story, and he wants to tell one more story, and he's telling a Wes Craven story, who Wes Craven just recently passed away. Rest in peace. And he tells a story that towards the end of the Scream filming, um, was just pretty much almost wrapped up. Him and Wes were alone in a private conversation, and Wes told him that, Matthew, you're going to win an Academy Award one day. And Matthew, like, whatever, man. And Wes was like, no, I'm serious. And Matthew joked, serious enough to call my mom and dad and tell them on the phone. And he said Wes picked up a phone. Matthew right there in the Q&A joked like we didn't have cell phones back then because it was the 90s. And picked up the phone. Wes Craven, the director of a bunch of horror movies, picked up the phone, called Matthew Lillard's mom and dad, and told them right on the phone, "Your mom or your son is going to win an Academy Award one day." And right as he finished that statement, he choked up. And then the last sentence he said, he powered through. I don't know if he was crying. I believe he was, but it was so choked up and emotional that like you could almost not make out what he said. But what he said was like that pretty much made him the person and the actor he is today. What Wes Craven told him. Was he true, or was it like more of a motivational thing? Only Wes knows. But just that story alone and seeing him crack up, and basically break down and cry in front of 100, 200, 300 people, really was a sight to see. So really enjoyed the Q&A. Overall, it was really awesome. Roger Jackson was in it. He was awesome. He was doing voices. He did the whole opening scene from Scream 1 with Drew Barrymore. What's your favorite scary movie? He did like the whole thing. He did Mojo Jojo voice, voices from some of the video games he's done. It was really, really awesome. That was the Q&A. Then we had the costume contest. I dressed up in my Cyclops costume again. Didn't win, but it was fun to take pictures with fans and stuff like that. Fans of the show, not mine. But fans of the show thought my costume looked pretty awesome, so they took pictures with me. That's always fun. Went to a big dinner Saturday night. $110 on steak and Maryland. I had my first Maryland crab cake, which is fucking awesome. This awesome crab dip they had. Had a beer. It was called like the Devil's Playground or some Devil's Backbone. That's what it was called. That was pretty good. And that was it, man. More drinking. I probably had 11 or 12, Captain and Coke Saturday night. Got pretty hammered. Sunday morning, woke up, went downstairs, had a big, huge buffet, a breakfast buffet, which was pretty expensive, $70 for 3 people for breakfast. All you can eat was a lot. Chilled out, came home, man. So another awesome convention in the books. Monster-Mania does it again, man. Never fails to give you a good weekend. So again, I always say if you can make it to a convention, whether it's out where you live or get to one, fly to one, ride a bus, train, walk, bicycle. Superman can fly you there. I don't know, but get to one if you can. You will not regret it. I promise you. So until the next one, which look on the back of here, is August 12th through the 14th, Monster-Mania 34 back in Cherry Hill. That will be the next one I will surely be at. I'm going to attempt to be somewhere in the, not now, but after that one. That will be the next one I go to. But I'm hoping to pull off like a May or June con somewhere. Texas Frightmare's out there, another Comic-Con, something like that. So, but anyway, nothing to do up until March. Just start planning for the next con. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you at the next one.